Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Energize Delaware Live. My name is Angie Bivens, and I'm an energy advisor with a few of Energize Delaware's residential programs. And I just want to say good afternoon and thank you for tuning in today. Hopefully, you're looking forward to our topic, but even if you don't know it, just know that you are in for something good today. So, before we get into our topic, before I bring on our speakers, let me talk just a little bit about Energize Delaware. So, Energize Delaware is a nonprofit organization, and we've got over 16 programs all around energy efficiency and delivering renewable energy services. So, if you were thinking of making your home, your church, your community building, if you have any ideas around energy or efficiency, then you definitely want to reach out to Energize Delaware. Along with our programming, we've got referrals to other programs. We've got some financing available. We've got rebates, incentives, experts. We've got it all. So with all of that being said, if you want to know more, feel free to reach out. You can reach us 24 hours a day right on our website at energizedelaware.org. Slide out the way. There it is. Or you can give us a call right on our toll-free number, 877-524-1339, and we'll be here to help. Now, with that, I'm going to prepare to bring on our special guest for today. Our topic is roofs from the heart. Don't you love it? So we're going to talk about an exciting new program that's coming to Delaware, funded through the Empowerment Grant. So with that, please welcome my guests as they come. So first, we've got Jim Purcell, who's the grant manager over at the Empowerment Grant. Hi, Jim.
Good afternoon.
And then we're also going to bring in the assistant grant manager, Miss Cassandra. Hey, Cass.
Hi.
And then next up, we're going to bring Adam on. And Adam is with Roofs from the Heart. Good afternoon, Adam.
How you doing, Angie?
Hey. So thank you all so much for joining today. I can't wait for you to share this amazing information with our audience, to tell them more about this program. And I know we've got a presentation as well, but before we get to the presentation, poor Adam is about to be highlighted. We're going to ask Adam if he would tell us, before we get into this amazing partnership that's happened with the Empowerment Grant, tell us about Roofs from the Heart. What made your company want to begin this amazing endeavor, this nonprofit? Give us the story behind the creation.
Sure. So I work with my two brothers, Glenn and Alan, and a number of other family members and then non-family members at the company at Fedale Roofing and Siding. And we service a number of different socioeconomic classes. So we work in the mansions of Greenville and then work in the row homes of Wilmington and some pretty tough areas. And we pride ourselves on that because we're versatile in our approach and we're not like a one size fits all. So anyway, in some of the homes that we worked on and some of the lower income areas, you'll get phone calls from people that can't afford to do the work. And I will never forget this one situation where the grandfather opens the door and inside is his children, which are adults, and then also his children's children. So he's got the grandkids and it's 3 generations living there. And he brings me inside and he says, hey, I got some water coming in upstairs. And I go upstairs and his bedroom ceiling is covered in mold, like green and black mold. And it's like sagging down by probably a good 3 feet from where the ceiling should be. And it's just with the weight of the water concentrated insulation. And I'm just like, man, this guy's going to sleep in here and he's breathing this stuff in. Like, we got to do something to help. But we didn't have anything set up, you know? And anyway, so we, that was just one instance that we saw. There were a number of instances like that. And it was really my brother and a retired pastor that was working at the company and you see the love of Jesus in that. So that we're like, let's come up with something formal where we can really be a blessing to the community that we're working in. And don't get me wrong, like, we made plenty of mistakes, but we just saw this as like an avenue to help. And one of our first programs that we rolled out, there was hundreds of people that reached out just needing help, and the situations were just tearjerkers, and that was confirmation for us that this is a real need and we're doing a good thing, and it's really going to be a help. So we thank God for even putting that on our hearts to do, and we're so thankful for the opportunity, because when you do good stuff like that, it ends up being a blessing to you too. So
Agreed. Agreed. Thank you for sharing that story so much. And it is commendable to hear a company that recognized the need and then found a way to help with that need. So many companies, unfortunately, will look and go, they got a problem, but, it's not our problem, So again, it's a beautiful thing to see somebody that wants to help. And then to think that the whole company is behind this. I'm excited. All right, let's get into what it is that you guys are actually doing. So now I'm going to go ahead and get ready and bring up your presentation. And I'm going to prepare to turn this portion over to Jim and Cass to go ahead and give us more information about the empowerment grant and Roofs from the Heart. So, Jim, it's all yours.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Angie, for this opportunity to share again with you. It's great to be a part of the Energize Live feed. And it's great to be with a tremendous family and business partner in Fedale. And I really want to commend Adam, his brothers, his dad, for all the work that they've done over the years. A tremendous company here in Delaware and Southeast Pennsylvania. They came to me, last year and said, we really want to ramp this program up, and can you help us do that? And so I said, well, I don't know, but let's see what we can do. So I started working with Glenn, and I started working with other family members, and they wanted to build a nonprofit, and it wasn't the right time. There was a lot of things that needed to be done. So I said, well, let's start with baby steps. Let's get this program off and running and consistent and getting out there. And so they formed a Roofs from the Heart charitable organization with the Delaware Community Foundation. And with that, they were able to raise a lot of money locally to do this roof campaign. And so I said, well, we can do better than that. We can help match some of that money with the empowerment grant, as long as we do some energy efficiency upgrades as well. So, not only are we looking at repairing and replacing roofs now, we're also looking at creating a more energy efficient, healthy, and safe home. So, this goes to insulation. This goes to encapsulation of the basement. This goes to new HVAC systems. This goes to changing out from old, antiquated oil systems to more efficient natural gas or electric systems. There's so much that we can do together as a partner. So, we partnered with them and we started doing. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to keep the essence of the Roofs from the Heart campaign, which is basically getting nominations from the community, nominations of people in need. And so that's what we are doing. So we go out there, we get these nominations, and we have them kind of come through the process. And then we also help them interview and vet the applicants as well, to make sure we make the right decision on the right family and do the right thing for everybody. So some of the eligible repairs that are kind of we're looking at is, we're going to do an energy checkup. We're going to do a roof assessment, roof repair, attic insulation. We're going to do weatherization, all kinds of improvements. up to about $20,000 per home. So, depends. Every home is going to be different. Every situation is going to be different. But G Fedale's roofing expertise and insulation expertise is going to go a long ways to helping us seal and create a healthier, safe home environment. So, how do we get involved? How do you get involved? So I want to pass that along to Cassandra, who's in charge of our nomination and grant application portal, to tell you how to nominate somebody.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Cassandra. I'm actually the grant administrator. I was promoted not too long ago. But I am also the contact person for Roofs from the Heart. So if you want to nominate, there are a few steps that you do. You would go to roofsfromtheheart.org, and there's a very simple nomination form. It asks for like your name, your email, what makes your story compelling. And then from that, I will look at it and I will send you a link to another form. And this one is a little bit more complex. It has a little bit more in-depth questions that we would like to know. After that, we will do another internal review with more of the staff members, and then you will be contacted with our decision. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So, we're hoping to do 3 homes between now and the end of this year. And we are collecting those nominations. We haven't made any decisions yet moving forward. I will say that we are continuing to help support the Roofs from the Heart organization. At some point, the Roofs from the Heart organization is going to become its standalone charitable organization, but they will always have a partner in the Empowerment Grant and Energize Delaware. So I'd like to. I see that we have Pop G, Glenn, online here, and I'd like for him to kind of say a few words too. Adam did a great job introducing G Fedale and the family. But Glenn, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this is important to you and your legacy?
Sure. So, am I unmuted? Can everyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yep. Okay. So I'm Glenn Fedale Sr., better known as Pop G to all those who I interact with. This has become extremely passionate for me in reaching out to the community and meeting those people that want to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, because we're changing people's lives. It's really satisfying to see that we're involved in something that can change and impact not only individuals, but lives of families. And as anyone involved in the nonprofit community knows, having a passion about your mission is really contagious. And I constantly see that with people I interact with and meet and talk to them about our mission, Roofs from the Heart, and what we do, what we've done, and what our goals are as far as in the future. Like Jim has done a great job in discussing how we met and how we've collaborated, and going forward, it's going to open up tremendous opportunities. But it's something I'm extremely passionate about, and will continue to be, whether we're joined at the hip or we're a separate organization. But like Jim said, still working with them, and this is a tremendous opportunity for the community.
Good. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate you. So, as you know, Roofs from the Heart is part of larger grant opportunities, with empowerment. We were very fortunate to identify G Fedale as a great partner, but we have other partners too, and other funders as well. So just to let everybody know that Roofs from the Heart is part of our menu of grant opportunities. We do have larger grants for community-based organizations, larger neighborhoods that involved really making a systematic change in the neighborhoods, not just the individual homes. It really is about the teamwork that we work on, and The Empowerment Neighborhood Grant is another grant. You can see 75 to 250,000. So we're granting up to $1 million in some cases. Our Roofs from the Heart is our individually based program for individual families, and it's great because it's not just an application; it's a community effort. So what we're looking for is nominations from the community. Everybody knows their communities really well and who's struggling. We need those nominations to come forward so that we can put them and hopefully make a decision as well on that. The other thing I just wanted to bring up too is that, not only is Roofs from the Heart going to be involved, on this individual side of things, but, they're a larger partner. And, because of the great work that they do in roofing and insulation and some other windows and whatnot, we know that they can be a major player in some of these larger grants as well. So, and serving some of our nonprofit communities and our faith communities, because we know that if we make them more energy efficient and a safer place, they'll be able to provide greater services to those in need. So I really want to appreciate, Adam and Glenn and G. Fedale and Roofs from the Heart for what they do and their commitment to really push the edge of the envelope. They're not afraid to stretch their legs and do something different and to make a difference in the community. So kudos to them. And I really look forward to moving forward with this campaign and others. And just our last slide here before we take it back for a little bit of discussion here is just our contact information. So you'll see here our contact for myself and Cassandra. We are both administrators for the Roofs from the Heart campaign. If you want to talk with Glenn or Adam directly, we would be more than happy to get you in contact with them as well. But we are a team effort, and whatever goes through us goes to them as well. So I guess we can go on to break down and maybe a little discussion, Angie.
I did also want to add that the deadline for nominations is August 12th. So if we could try to get everything in by then, that would be great. So that way we can review it internally and then make decisions after that.
And I will say that's our first deadline.
Yeah.
We're always going to work on deadlines so we can get things done, right? So we will probably open the campaign up again for further nominations towards the end of this year. And certainly look to be doing a lot more homes next year in 2023.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for this information. Okay, first you had the tear-jerking story, Roofs from the Heart, where they have really big hearts over there. Then we got more into these details. So sorry if my internet has a little bit of a lag to it. But I just want to go back and just review a few brief things that were said, just because you know me, I like to highlight and make sure the audience has the information they need. So right at the bottom of the screen, we did put the website for anyone that's interested in applying for Roofs from the Heart. Now, my question is, what are the requirements for someone that wants to apply? Is there anything that they should have, shouldn't have? What are the requirements to apply from Roofs from the Heart?
Yeah, that's a great question, Angie, and I'll kind of take that, and I'll have Glenn and Adam maybe chime in as well. They did a great job in their initial campaign to try and identify those families in need and nominations, and pictures and stories about what's going on. The story that Adam shared about being in that home. I mean, that's where it starts. The only thing that we did really with the empowerment grant is that we put a little bit of some structure to an application process now. So we take those nominations and we break them down. We are looking for income levels that are under 300% of poverty. We are looking for people that have fallen through the cracks, and just need an additional hand up, not a handout. This is a hand up opportunity. And, and I'll let I'll pass this to Glenn, but we also identified people who may be veterans, or people who may be in disabilities, or people are our first responders. So Glenn or Adam, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So relative to that, I've had a number of meetings with the Delaware National Guard, and I didn't realize the size of the community in Delaware of veterans and veterans that have some challenges and need help. It's pretty compelling, and we're in the midst of starting the process of working with them to offer what we do to those veterans who have made that commitment to help serve our country, and now we can do something in return for them. So it's really exciting to be able to do that.
Just to chime in briefly, if I could.
Yep.
Another thing that seemed like was just a perfect segue was when COVID first hit and the pandemic, and everyone was really not sure, what to do. There was a lot of those first responders, like, teachers and medical professionals and police officers. And there's, police officers got no break from, breaking up fights and protecting people and keeping the community safe. And it was a great opportunity for us to do our best to pitch in and help them out any way we could. So that was kind of like a little bit of a branch off, but we did free repairs for first responders, and especially in that like April, May timeframe, just after COVID hit, we had a lot of people that reached out and took advantage of that, and that was a neat opportunity.
Beautiful, beautiful. Look, these are the interviews that just warm my heart. Literally, I'm trying to use heart as much as possible so it sticks in the mind of the viewers. They won't forget the name. All right. So I love Roof from the Heart, not just because you're just giving them a roof, but also because you're encompassing so many other parts of the house, that they're basically getting this triage, and then they're getting a lot of wraparound services. So love to hear that. Now, my next question is more so once someone applies. I know that there's a process. Once they apply, give me, you don't have to go into too much detail, but what's the basic process that they could look to happen after they apply and send in their information?
Yeah, so they'll nominate somebody, they'll do the application. Our committee will review every one of the applications. Our committee is made up of Cassandra and myself on the empowerment team, and Glenn and Adam, and some other folks from Fedale. And so we will review those applications thoroughly. More than likely, we'll probably have an interview with the client. Each of the applications require references. We'll probably check on the references to verify everything. Once we get down to our last three, we're going to actually do an assessment of those three homes, and find out what the cost will be. And certainly those homes will have an opportunity to take pictures and see exactly what's going on. And then it's a hard decision that we'll have to make, because we're going to have tons of applications to review. And I know that, Glenn and Adam did this before when they were doing this on their own, the hard decision to make when you have limited resources. But we will push on, and we will identify a family. Like I said, we want to do 3 homes by the end of this year. And then we will assign the contractors to go out and do the work and hold the people's hands through the process. And so, that's kind of how we see it right now. Glenn or Adam, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
decision process, right?
Yeah,
that's the hard one, right? You guys have made this before. We're going to help you try to make those decisions, Cassandra and I. But you know how hard it is when you have such tremendous stories that are coming out of our community.
Well, the neat thing is, as we go through that process and consider everything, it like naturally provokes conversations between us and then people outside the company too, outside the nonprofit, and other people want to come forward and give. So we've had several generous vendors hear about just the needs that are out there. And there was one situation where we were partnering with the Delaware Blue Rocks, and we did a nomination, and there was hundreds of families that applied, and we really couldn't narrow it all the way down. So we ended up choosing 3 families. We had some generous donors come forward to help, and I mean, just the stories. One woman had a quadriplegic son that she was taking care of, and you can imagine just the level of responsibility there. There was another one where the husband, they had 2 young children, ages like 4 and 6, I think, at the time, and he had just suffered from some medical things going on, and actually right after we awarded the roof to their family, he passed away at the young age in his like mid 30s. And then there was a third, and she was going through some cancer treatment. So it's just like really incredible, some of the opportunities, and you think about it and you're like, oh, a roof, is it going to make that much of a difference? But sometimes when life is like seeming to deal you a hard hand, anything can help. And anyway, I think that's been some of the consistent feedback from the recipients. Like, man, I didn't expect this, and it's just been like a blessing. Like, actually, I didn't even think about this before this call started, but I have a note thumbtacked onto my wall from one of our recipients. Her first name was Elnora, and she just talks about how she received this blessing on Good Friday, and it was a gift from God, and she's so grateful. And she's been praying she had like eight leaks coming in, and her brother suffered from PTSD and was homeless, and she took him in, and she's been working at Walmart for years and just trying to make ends meet. And anyway, she was like, this is just a miraculous thing for me. So for us, we're like, okay, we're helping out, and but for her, it was like a really big deal, and we're just thankful that we can be a part of it.
Well, shameless plug for G Fedale for being amazing. If the name hasn't been said enough, because again, I just can't say it enough. You didn't have to create any of this. You didn't have to do it, and you did. So I want to shoot some flowers your way and say thank you. This is amazing. Looking forward to what you will do with the families that come in. But really quickly, before we close out, I do want to say to anybody that may be watching, and maybe you're thinking, I don't need a roof, but all that other energy efficiency stuff they mentioned, I could use that. Let me give a quick plug for you heard them mention a home energy checkup. That is available to anyone. There are some income limits on it, but it's not low income. It's actually low to moderate. So please check out our website or give us a call. If you don't need a roof and would like to go through an energy program, you have this option. But for those that do need a roof, you could use some of the services that were mentioned here. I can't say it enough. Let me put it back up real quick. Please go to this website. You hear them. They're asking the public, please submit, nominate yourself, nominate someone else. But if you know somebody that needs this, here's somebody offering help, nominate them. All the nominees will be reviewed. I'm sure they will still be contacted and offered some free services that are available as well. But a special home will get some additional services. So apply. All right. Before we close out, I'm going to just say thank you again to everyone for coming on. Thank you for sharing this information. Thank you to the Empowerment Grant for having the funding available. And especially thank you to both Adam, Glenn, and everyone over at G Fedale for taking part in this program and the creation of it. So before we close out, I do want to open up the floor and just see if anybody had any last words or anything they wanted to say.
Yeah, Energized Delaware is great. Really appreciate you, Kaz, and Jim. You've been doing an awesome job. So thankful to work with you guys, and thank you, Angie, for
Yeah.
today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I certainly kudos out to you guys. A lot of love in the air, and a lot of faith in the air as well. So it's an honor to work in this space. It's an honor to go down this path and start this program, help you build this program out. And like Angie says, I mean, we're all going to be winners, and there's a lot of referrals, a lot of things that we can do with many of the homes that are nominated. So even though we are only giving away 3, in the next year or so, or next couple of months, there are going to be other opportunities next year and other services that we can help refer to some of our families in need.
I don't want to close out without giving, tell me if I said it wrong, was it Papa G? A chance if he wanted to say anything.
No, just kind of just reiterate what was shared by Adam and Jim. It's a real pleasure and honor to be able to work as a family, the Fedale family, and then partner with Jim in this initiative. And it's humbling to see how we've been led into this space and to impact people's lives. It really is.
Well, awesome. All right, to our audience, you heard it here first. Please encourage family, friends, neighbors, anybody in Delaware that could use it to apply to Roofs from the Heart. With that, Energized Delaware says thank you to everybody who tuned in, and please come back again in a few weeks for our next one. With that, I'm going to ask everybody to tell our audience bye-bye and have a good afternoon, everybody.